Shalom everyone, I'm Rami Zatzman and you're watching Playful Economica. As your kind of personal economist, I'm going to walk you through the mysterious path of the world of finance and unravel its darkness, secrets, what will hidden from you. Everything you deem beyond your comprehension will be there explained. This is my first episode of the channel, and for starters I choose the topic of US national debt. Many of you have probably heard the phrase national debt, but most commonly you heard this term in the context of the US national debt. So, what's up with national debt? Well, the words speaks for themselves. It's a debt accumulated by a national government through loans from other governments or corporations. Debt can be either external or internal. This is also plain enough. External debt means loans from foreign companies and governments, and internal debt means loans from domestic companies and even their own citizens. Some believe incorrectly that if the country has huge national debt, it signals that its national economy is on a death curse. And that is not true. Quite on the contrary. If a nation has a huge debt, it means that it's trusted by creditors. Does it make sense? It does. If a country is given money, that means that its lenders are damn sure that the debt's gonna pay off. Conspiracy theories, political manipulation, the world gold reserves keeping the US dangerous. Let's not even go there, because we are grown up and too smart for this shit. The United States account for more than 50% of today's global consumption. Consumption of everything from food, clothes and household appliances to raw materials, electric power and everything in between. Increased consumption implies increased purchasing power and increased debt load for that matters. As salaries and the standard of living improve, borrowings go up as well. Simply put, this tells us that the lives go on and people's needs are at least at the same level of growing. This is why nobody minds lending the state some cash. Secondly, it is a solid investment. US treasuries, including bonds, notes and bills, bear the lowest risk possible. They are both not so much as a way of lending money to the states, but rather as the way of securing your own money. The rate of returns of US treasuries isn't high, it's about 3% maximum annually, but they're safe to invest, and that's the major driver for buying these securities. Side note, in 2018 Russia bought 103 billion US dollars worth of US Treasury securities. Wherever political tensions might arise, sanctions or not sanctions, the global community won't stop buying these securities because they are secure and trustworthy. So what securities are you talking about, Rami? You may ask. Bonds. Bonds are securities traded in the stock market. They can be bought by you, me, the central banks of Russia, China, Belarus or the Fed. Generally speaking, any individual legal entity or government. You can ask about them in comments and I will answer in next video. The main point of bonds is raising money. For example, you have a company which needs funding for business development. Getting a bank loan can be a lengthy and tedious process and interest rates are high. The company issues bonds, which are bought by me, you and everyone who knows and trusts this company. Every 3 to 6 months the company pays coupons as a consideration for using our money. When bonds are sold, we get our money back. The national debt mechanism is basically the same. The United States are trusted worldwide, their domestic market and consumption growth rates are very well known. And potential buyers see that other reportable investors confidently buy government bonds. Based on that knowledge, potential buyers decide that whether to purchase US Treasury securities or not, that is, whether to lend them money or not. There's Russia on the other hand, and this is illustrative of national debt too. The Russian Ministry of Finance issues federal loan bonds in order to raise money and satisfy its current or future financial needs. And this is the wonderful example of lack of trust, of demand, because for the second time the Russian Ministry of Finance cancels its top issue of federal loan bonds due to the loan appeal to potential investors. So, what can a country issuing unpopular securities do? Or rather, an unpopular country which others don't want to lend money to? The only option such countries have is a direct loan. Nicaragua won't even bother issuing government bonds because, printer cartridges would cost them more. However, it borrowed $344 million from Russia. And in 2004, Russia whipped clean the Nicaraguan debt. That was a political move. But I saved this case for another video. Today we are discussing national debt as an economic factor. National debt arises when a country borrows funds. The United States borrows funds by selling their treasury securities. But why borrowing if the country is doing okay, as I said early on? The answer is as simple. Because the states are investing in development of their economy. This is how the economy grows. With right policies in place, return issued by the loans will accumulate faster than debt. These are the basic of economics. And any analyst who says that the US economy is going to crash very soon because look at the national debt didn't pay enough attention to their teacher in the classroom. The economy is stagnant if a nation is both the holder and the borrower of its national debt. If the states issue their bonds, but other nations, foreign companies and other investors wouldn't buy them, and these securities were created by US citizens and domestic companies only, then the country wouldn't be able to generate new cash flow and wouldn't have resources for further economic development. Such economy will eventually face a crisis. Russia represents the opposite example. It is federal loan bonds issued by the Ministry of Finance were advertised mainly among its own citizens as an alternative to deposits and were offered in major national banks such as Sberbank and VTB. Borrowing from domestic investors wasn't very successful, so the government had to pull out the big guns, and now we are seeing increased VAT and retirement age. Such regulations would be unnecessary if the country's economic growth was ensured by proper use of foreign investments, loans, and new money. As you might have noticed, I haven't mentioned the amount of the US national debt so far, and there is no point in it as it's constantly growing. You can look it up by clicking the link in the description box and going straight to the online US debt clock. I hope you enjoyed my pilot episode and learned loads of useful stuff today. Now you are a little more financially savvy. Keep going by finding information yourself or watching my future videos on Playful Economican channel. Remember to subscribe my channel and watch new episode very soon. Thanks for watching and live a wealthy life. Rami.